The US's recent military escapades in Iran, Nigeria and more recently Venezuela are putting the world on edge. And following the attack on Venezuela, US President Donald Trump suggested that Colombia and Mexico could even be next. The once global protector role that the US assumed appears to be fading fast, and with this, trust in that country. Viv Govender, portfolio manager at Rand Swiss, expects this to translate in different ways on global markets.
What it means for markets, and this is important, is that people are going to be much more willing to look at things like gold as an alternative to the US dollar as a reserve for your country. That's why you see the gold price, the platinum price, the silver price. Have you seen the silver price go up dramatically over the last little while? The platinum price has done it more than 2.5 times since I think April. The silver price almost two times up since April. We look at gold, and gold's also done quite well in a period of time. But that's because people are looking for reserves that are not US controlled.
The term Pax Americana, Latin for American peace, has long been used to refer to the relative global peace, stability and prosperity the globe has enjoyed since the end of the Second World War, with the US having taken the lead in promoting free trade, democracy and cooperation. Part of that role has included policing international waters in the name of global peace, which has been a boon for international trade over the past several decades. But the latest decision to build up an armada in Caribbean waters may have some nations doubting the motivation behind this US protection going forward.
And people are going to be much less willing to have, for instance, US ships patrolling their waters, which has been a big boon to the world. I mean, think about it. We don't have piracy in the world, except for places like, recently where we had Yemen have some piracy, or Somalia, I think, had piracy. And that stopped. Why? Because the US stopped it, quite frankly. And the reason we don't have piracy in the world is because of the US effectively patrolling global waters. That's going to be kind of like, looking at it in a very different way now that we have people thinking, are those, US ships also going to come in and arrest our, president? Are they going to come in and do things that we don't want in our country?
Last year saw the US dollar lose substantial value, and this was evidenced in investors' reduced appetite to buy US treasuries or US bonds. This trend is expected to continue this year, and with the US Fed Chair Jerome Powell set to leave office this year, there are concerns that Donald Trump may choose a more pliable next Fed chair.
The Fed basically has held strong against any demand for cutting interest rates when inflation might have been too high. That's why Jerome Powell is getting such kind of kickback or pushback from Trump at the moment, because he's holding the interest rates too high in Trump's administration. If you have a replacement like this, I mean, obviously, he still has to get the court case done. Jerome Powell has to resign. There's a couple of things that need to be happening to have this fully coming to play. But that would mean a less trust with the US Fed. That means less trust with the US dollar. And that would mean basically people can't trust that the dollar will be replaced, or you will get the full value of your investment in the dollar, or by buying US bonds. And it won't mean they won't pay you back in dollar terms. They will pay back in dollar terms. They may just pay back in dollar terms. Inflation rates are maybe 10, 12%, which means that effectively you're losing the value because you're not getting the real return that you should be getting.
Govender admits that indeed relations between South Africa and the United States are at an all-time low. But like others, he says it will be important for the country to continue forging partnerships with other countries around the world to ultimately reduce the country's reliance on the United States. Nampumelo Siziba, SABC News, Johannesburg.